guys, Ramblin Bob here again. Now these are the PV200 by Bluetti. So I have two of them now. Here's one, and then here's the second one. The second one just came today as I was doing the test for the other ones. So let's see, set them up. Now the one thing I noticed is, notice this sag? See that? So this panel does not have a leg. There's 1, 2, 3 panels, or 3 legs. And then there's 1, 2, 3. But notice that middle one does not have one. So it sags a little bit. It's not too bad, but it does create, as you can see, there's a difference. Might knock down the power a little bit. I do like this part though, guys. This is the 45, and that's probably 60, and that's probably 25 or so. But the nice thing is this can allow you to set it for the time of the year, and then this one is storage, way down there, storage. So you have the 3 settings and the storage one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do one panel on the P2001 ACOUCOU to see what they get. And notice that's one panel going in, and then here's the other panel not hooked up. So we're going to do one panel by itself to see what this panel gets, and then we're going to do 2 in parallel like that, and then we're going to split that apart and do 2 of them in series to see what that kind of voltage gets. Okay guys, hold on a second, I'll go back in the house and we'll do this first test. Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again. Okay, so we're going to do another test with the PV200s by Bluetti. Alright, so we have the P2001. I know this is a lot of numbers and letters, guys, but it's the ACOUCOU P2001 48 volt battery pack, and I have it hooked to one Bluetti PV200 200 watt solar panel, foldable one. That's a lot to remember. Write it down. Okay, so we're going to see what kind of voltage we're getting in here. I'm getting tired of running back and forth, guys. This is a lot of work to test this stuff, but I really enjoy doing it, so it makes me feel like a kid again. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, so plus it's good exercise. So we have the open volt. Oh, we didn't test the open voltage. Let's do that real quick. We'll just pull this apart real quick just for a second. So the open voltage is just under 24 volts, so 23.74 volts. Okay, and then when we do the working voltage, that's, you know, when you hear that VOC, guys, that's what they're referring to. The open voltage of a panel all by itself out there making its own energy but not hooked to any system. It's an open system, open circuit, hence the name. Okay, so now it's a closed circuit. It's actually going into a battery pack, and you'll see that this voltage will drop, you know, it'll dip down. Okay, that's called voltage sag. So when you bring energy in, it drops it because it has to charge something else, which means there's strain on the system. Think of your muscles. When you pick up something heavy, your muscles have to strain. Well, that voltage is now straining. So we're bringing in 146, 148, 149, very solid. So we'll say 140, we'll say 149. I know it's going to, yep, see, as soon as I said it, I knew it was going to change. So we'll say 140, we'll say 148. There you go. 148 watts in, which is approximately 75%. I don't have it aimed perfectly. I just kind of tossed it out there just to kind of see what we get on an average situation. And it's also running about 50 foot of 12 gauge cable, which I don't recommend. I recommend anywhere between, you know, well, the shortest is the best, but anywhere between 10 and 30 is usually a better spot. Then once you get over 50, you start losing voltage just because of the run. It has to run all the way through there. Imagine a straw. The soda has to go all the way through the straw to get to your mouth. Well, it loses power by the time it gets to the end of the straw, if the straw is like, you know, 50 feet long, obviously. So we're bringing in 160, just under 160 true watts, and then 149 converted watts. So that's 2 different numbers, but this is the actual watt that they go off of when they test these panels. It's the actual, what's called true watts, not the converted watts. So when you buy a panel, sometimes you get upset that this one doesn't match this one, or that one doesn't match the paper or whatever. But these are the rated watts. This is what they go off of. So you're bringing in about 9 amps at 156 watts. Now, this system can only take in 15 amps. So what we're going to do is we're going to max out the amps in the system with 2 of these in parallel. And I'll do that right now. If you guys hang on a second, I'm going to run outside. I'm going to stop the video so you don't have to wait for me to run all the way outside and catch my breath. So I'll be right back, okay? Hang on a second. Okay, guys. Well, I have both of the panels now set into series. So in series, we're getting 37 to 36 to 38 volts. That'll obviously change with the way the sun is. Here's 36, 35, 36, and we're bringing in about 328 true watts and about 315 watts on the 48 volt system. So it's not too bad, not too bad. I expect a little bit more, but it's not too bad for a couple panels sitting out there. That would bring the cost of this system, 2 of these panels, about $3 a watt. I did get 177 on one, but it was colder and the angle was different with the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more angle test with the soup can out there, and I'm going to angle the panels the best I can, and then we're going to test it from there, and maybe it's off. So I just kind of set them out there. So that's what we're getting, 326 for 2 panels in series at about 36 volts. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again. I'm going to do the soup can, and then I'll be back again for one last test. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, and back again. All right, so I did the soup can technique, and it's almost perfect. There's a little bit of shading, just a little shadow on the bottom end. I have it set, you know how there's the 1, 2, 3 snaps, and then the 4th one is for storage? I just opened the snap and let it go all the way up to where the panel can lay at its flattest, and notice that the input went up a little bit. Now, when you're dealing with foldable panels, or any solar panels for that matter, the most frustrating part about it is to get the angle of the panels in a perfect situation. That's why when rigid panels are set, they're set to the most optical, I can't say it, the best situation for the job. Optical? No, that's vision. Well, you know what I'm talking about. When you put it in the best situation for the job, optimal. I think that's it, optimal. That's a weird word. Anyway, so notice that the power went up a little bit here, and now we're getting 330 watts in at 36 volts at just about 9 amps. And these are in series now, so you're pulling in 30s, almost 37, there you go, 37 volts. But notice that went up a little bit, guys. So the 75% rating on most panels when it's hot, it's about 80 degrees now. It warmed up very well today. It was like 30 degrees last week, which is crazy. And now it's 80 again. But well, 79, 80, something like that. It's hot out there compared to what I'm used to up here. And you know, having those panels set up just perfect for the atmosphere and where the sun is it's so frustrating sometimes, because you guys remember when you were younger, you had the TVs with the little antennas like that, and you had to fine-tune them. Well, that's what you have to do with solar panels. If you don't fine-tune them, you don't always get the best quality signal, if you will, which is the sun rays. And back in the days, you used to watch, you know, either wrestling or whatever, your Magnum PI or whatever you watched on TV. You had to move those little antennas back and forth like that, you know, and kind of, you know, remember the old game Tune in Tokyo thing, where you had to move the little knobs, and then you had to figure out the best angle for that signal to come in on UHF and VHF. And those are old TV stations. You know, the kids have no idea what that even means. They just have, everything's digital now. They just push a button and boom, it goes right to the station. Same with radio. You know, you had to tune in, you had to fine tune that radio station. And when you travel, you had to move it a little bit, fine tune it a little bit more. But that's what you have to do with solar panels. And it can be very frustrating, guys, because right when you get it perfect, along comes a breeze and it'll move it, or the sun will move over an hour, and then you have to go outside and redo it again. And so portable panels, guys, are a headache, but they're really a godsend in a bad situation. If you're in an emergency and, you know, you plop those out just on the ground, and you can get free energy from the heavens, if you will, and get you out of a bad situation, whether you have to make food or hot water or clean water, you know, whatever you have to do in an emergency situation. Those foldable panels are a really nice thing to have. I personally don't care for foldable panels unless it's that situation where it's an emergency or you want maybe extra auxiliary power coming in. I am a big fan of rigid stuff, but with rigid, you have to have a place to put them. They have to be safe and they have to be secure. With portable, you could just flop them out. You could lay right on a beach if you want. I mean, literally lay right on the sand, obviously not near the water, but lay them right on the sand or in the grass, or you can lay them in dirt if you have to. You know, not mud, but you know, if you're in an area that's like, say you're doing a dune buggy thing or RC racing or something, you can lay them right in the dirt, and you know, you just wipe them off when you get home. But you can get energy from the heavens. So in those situations, portable panels are really, really good. But now we're getting 331, 333. I think that's about the max we're going to get. The soup can technique worked pretty good. It was off maybe about, I want to say about a ½ an inch. But like I said, with the portable panels, you'll never, ever, no matter what you do, get them perfect, because they're portable. They bend, they bow, they move, the legs slide with the wind. So you get it the best that you can. But now this is a real-world test, 321 on a system that takes in 48 volts battery. And what I'll do is I'll pop those over to the Pecron real quick, and we'll see what kind of voltage we get from there. Let me change my tripod here. I gotta do some adjustments here. All these different filming situations, you have to adjust your tripod and your camera to adapt to those situations. So it always takes a little extra time here. Okay. So now we're going to take these off here. So that ACOUCOU panel, we're going to keep charging with another one. I'm charging 4 power stations right now, and that's a lot. That's a lot to do. So, but you know, when the sun is good, you know, you try to get it. You know, when the getting's good, you get it. So I put this over this way. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully that's clear for you guys. Okay, now we're going to pull. This is the 800 watts of Acopower, and this is the 600 watts of Harbor Freight out of the Pecron system. And now we're going to need I'll need one of these adapters. So I got to take one of these off here. I don't know which one this was, but we'll know in a minute. Okay, so once we hook this into the system, okay, and then we're going to take, now these are the two PV200s there in series now, so they're coming in at just under 40 volts, about 37 volts. Okay, and I wish they would put this darn thing this way. You know what I mean? Like if it would flip, because they always got to tangle up the cords that way. It makes it really hard to film here. So, okay, so there you're coming in at about 37, and notice that we're getting 330, about the same on a 24 volt system as a 48. However, remember this is 97%, so this is almost completely full. So that have a big impact on the charging as well. If this was empty, you might see a different number there. So you know, as you get to the end of a charging cycle, it trickles lower, so you know your batteries don't over fizz like the soda video that I put up for you guys. But here, let's take this UV rating thing off here. I don't recommend taking anything off the cords, guys, but I don't like them, and I've been around cords my whole life, so I know which ones to mess with and which ones not to. But it's kind of, you know, that weird thing like on your bed, if you take the tag off your bed, that's like a law or something. That's so crazy. You know, never understood that, but I think I do, but it's weird. I guess if the fireman comes in, they got to know what it's made out of so they can put it out or whatever, but it's such a weird law sometimes, guys. All right, so back to this panel here without the rambling. We're getting 315 in. We're only 3% away from topping this system off. But that's definitely, it's just under 80% input on a hot day. Now, if the temperature was down to the 40s of what it was when I did the original first test on this system, I think it was like 49 or something like that, this would be a little bit higher because obviously the cooling of the panel helps when you produce power. So I think that's where we'll leave it, guys. So we're getting about 314, so just about 80% rated power on a normal traditional day of 80-degree weather. I think it's 80. It's either 80 or 81 or 79. It's real close to 80. Let me look real quick. Hold on. It's actually 81, guys. 81 degrees. So it's actually heating up pretty good. So that's a typical summer day, 81 degrees, and you're getting 314 off 2 PV200s in series at 30, just under 37 volts. Obviously, you'll have more voltage if your run line, your lead line is shorter. This is 50 foot of 12 gauge cable. You would also have a little bit more if that was 10 gauge cable, a little bit fatter, you know, lets that voltage flow through there and the amperage a little bit easier without so much struggling, without creating so much heat. There's no heat on any of the ports. There's a little bit of heat on this thing, but that's normal because this thing is doing its job reading. So what I'll do is I'll bypass this now and I'll run it straight in. Okay, I don't recommend hot swapping, guys, but this system is under 48 volts, which leaves it pretty safe overall. You should always have a DC cutoff switch. These are my test lines. I don't have DC cutoffs on my test lines. On my main lines I do, but these ones I don't. So let's plug this in here and let's see what we get here. So now we have the line without this bad boy on there. So let's see what we got here. And it'll probably go to the same, but let's see. That's the whole reason for a test, right? So you got 315. So about the same. Well, about the same, guys. So now we know what these panels can do on an average day of 80-degree weather. So that's always nice to know. That's a plus. And I plugged my laptop back in. It died on me today. All right, so I think I'll leave it at that, guys. The PV200s are not bad panels. They're about 75 to 80% rated of what I see on average. On a cold day, you get a lot more, of course, because of the cooling feature of the atmosphere. But yeah, I think they're pretty decent panels, guys. I like the way they're made. They're only IP65 of what I read, though. So you want to be careful about keeping them outside in the rain or the snow or any kind of moisture like that. And anytime you have a foldable panel, when you bring them in the house, make sure that you take not a wet rag, but a damp rag, and wipe off the panels. And that takes off all the soot and the dirt and the garbage and the bird poop or whatever goes on the panels. You want to take that off, and that way you don't let it sit. Because and then you want to let them dry fully before you fold them up and put them away. Anything that's wet that you put away can actually build up mold, and you don't want mold on your solar panels, because then you have the worst of both worlds. You have mold and not working solar panels, so you always want to watch that. All right, just to give you an idea how the sun is today, like I said, we're 97% already, so we're almost full. But this is I'll know as soon as I plug it in. These have DC cutoffs on them, and let's see, this one here has let me put this one over here. There we go. Okay, so let me put that over there. It's a shorter cable, guys. This is a little bit longer cable here. I don't want them to monkey each other up. And then you have, let's see, let me turn the fan on too, because it's getting hot in here. Okay, so as you can see, this is 1200 watts of solar panels, and what we're going to do is we're going to see what we get on a 1200 watt system. You got almost 1000 watts here, guys. So the solar is pretty decent today. I can't complain. I can't complain. All right, guys, I guess I'll leave it on that. Now the fan's kicking on there because it's obviously generating a lot of power. It's almost pulling 1000 watts from the heavens, so I'll take it. I'll take that 1000 watts. I got all my systems charged up and ready to go almost for whatever hits you in life, and hopefully nothing hits you. Guys, ramble on, be safe. I'll see you again. Don't forget to like the video. Please smash that button. Everyone always says smash a button. I think they're talking about that like button. Smash that thing. And leave a like up there. Let other people know that there's good information in this video. Join the subscriber family. We're growing pretty quick here. Out of nowhere, in a couple of months, we got more than 300 people in our little family here. So we're growing, and everybody helps everybody as a team. So it's a cool place to be. All right, guys, ramble on. I'm going to take my almost 1000 watts and top this off, and then I'll see you again. Ramble on, be safe, and I'll talk to you again. Bye, guys.